The following video will cover erosion and sediment control measures. This video was put together for CEE 4274 Land Development Design. To give a brief rundown, we'll run through the following topics. First, an introduction of erosion and sediment control. Next, we'll explain the uses and components of various measures. This will be followed by pictures of the measures in the field and the details and markers used in construction plans. To wrap up, we will show videos of a few measures in the field in order to test your knowledge. To begin the background, we need to define three key terms: erosion, sediment, and sedimentation. Erosion is the process of soil particles breaking down. Sediment is soil particle that has moved from its origin, thus a byproduct of erosion. Sedimentation is the actual settling of these particles after erosion has taken place. Next, the causes of erosion can be both natural and unnatural. Water, wind, and gravity cause the Earth's materials to move and erode naturally. However, humans clearing and moving land for development causes all of these processes to expedite and intensify. The process is very important as long as it occurs at the natural rate. However, when uncontrolled erosion and sedimentation occurs, it very well deteriorates the natural environment. And there are three main issues here: aesthetics, stability, and pollution. For aesthetics, the issues that arise include muddy or dirty water or washed down areas. These areas often are not appealing to the public eye. For stability, land can move and become weak, which therefore puts nearby structures in danger. An example of this would be landslides. As for pollution, runoff picks up sediment in the form of trash, chemicals, or anything the water passes over. This will often pollute our waterways after big storms. Thus, it's very important to put these measures in place and to control the rate to avoid all these negative impacts. Erosion, sedimentation, and uncontrolled runoff deteriorate the land and pollute the waterways, as we have just discussed. Prevention is much more time, material, and cost-effective compared to remediation. Thus, prevention is focused upon. The Virginia Department of Environmental Quality has established regulations for prevention. These regulations can be found in the Virginia Erosion and Sediment Control Handbook. This handbook sets forth the standards for all erosion and sediment control plans. Minimum standards for erosion and sediment control plans are established and enforced on all projects that disturb an area of land greater than 10,000 square feet. The following videos are shown to depict what happens if proper erosion and sediment control measures are not used at construction sites. As can be seen in this riprap structure, there is not enough protection to limit the amount of sediment traveling down. Additionally, this video shows a hole in silt fence where sediment is spilling out and traveling downstream from the site. Lastly, this video shows all of the sediment and runoff that is improperly being let through from the measures discussed previously. As you can see, this is causing a big flooding problem and is causing a lot of sediment and erosion along the way. The effects of this sediment in the river can truly be seen by this ending image. These videos stress the importance of implementing proper erosion and sediment control practices. First erosion and sediment control measure is the construction entrance. As you can see in this picture, it marks ingress and egress points on a construction site and is often constructed of stones. The purpose here is to reduce the amount of sediment that is moved off the site from vehicles on the site. To the left, you will see the erosion sediment control plan detail, and to the right, you will see the legend, symbol, and marker. These are included in all construction plans in order to show how to construct that erosion sediment control measure. Next, we have the silt fence. This is a temporary barrier constructed of entrenched wooden stakes. In between these stakes are synthetic filter fabric. As you can see in this picture, there are two silt fences being used at the site. The purpose here is to intercept and detain all sediment and decrease the velocity of the runoff from disturbed areas during construction. As shown for the construction entrance, here is the silt fence erosion sediment control plan detail, as well as the detail legend symbol and marker that will be used in construction plans. The next measure is inlet protection. Inlet protection is sediment filters that surround storm drains. For these, there are two major types, which I will show you, the drop inlet and the curb inlet. Both are often constructed of either stones or the filter fabric that was shown in the silt fence. The purpose here is to prevent sediment from entering the storm drainage systems during construction. Below you will see the sediment detail legend and symbol markers. The first type is the drop inlet. As shown in this picture, the filter fabric and wooden stakes similar to a silt fence are used here and shown how to be constructed in the control plan detail to the left. The other type is the curb inlet. As you can see here, stones are often used for this type. Next, we have diversion dikes. In this picture, the diversion dike is the grassy mound you see in the center of the picture. This is a temporary ridge of compacted soil that is used to divert stormwater runoff away from steep or unprotected areas. As you'll see in a later picture, this is being used to divert water down this channel to the left and towards a sediment trap. Again, here's the erosion sediment control plan detail, legend symbol, and marker that is used for diversion dikes. It's important to familiarize yourself with these details, markers, and symbols as they are shown in all construction plans. Next, we have check dams. Check dams are temporary dams constructed across a swale or drainage ditch. They're often constructed of stones and are used to trap and reduce the velocity of concentrated stormwater flow to reduce the amount of erosion that occurs in that swale and ditch. Once again, here's the control plan detail, legend symbol, and marker for check dams. Here we have the sediment trap that I mentioned earlier. A sediment trap is a temporary ponding area constructed of earth embankment that also has a stone outlet. The purpose here is to detain the runoff from small areas and allowing the sediment to settle, and the water after the sediment settles will then flow out of the storm outlet. As you can see here in the front right of the picture, the diversion dike is generating the water to flow in a path that goes towards the sediment trap. Once again, here's the plan detail, legend symbol, and marker for sediment traps. Next, we have sediment basins. These are barriers or dams which control stormwater release structures. Similar to sediment traps, they are constructed of earth embankment. However, they have a pipe outlet as shown in this picture. Similarly, their purpose is to detain runoff in wet and dry storage in order to settle the sediment. Really, the main difference here is sediment basins are often bigger and utilize stormwater pipes to control the outflow. These pipes are designed to safely pass the 25-year return frequency storm and serve drainage areas of greater than 3 acres. Again, here's the sediment control plan details, symbols, and markers. Lastly, we have outlet protection or riprap. These are lined aprons or other energy dissipating devices that are put at stormwater pipe outlets. As you can see, they are constructed of stone. The purpose here is to reduce the velocity and energy of the flow in order to limit the erosion at the outlet and issues downstream. Once again, here's the plan detail, legend symbol, and markers for outlet protection. Sediment trap number 1. Flow starts up here. As you can see, it goes on down in. Again, this is a sediment trap from the other angle. As you can see, here's the stone outlet point that we talked about. After the sediment settles, the water passes through this stone outlet down here. I'm now walking along the diversion dike. As you can see, the diversion dike is the grassy mound to my left. Looking back up to the sediment trap, you can see again that rock outlet which the water will pass through after sediment has settled out. This is another look at the check dams as well as the diversion dike. You can see the check dams are the rock structures to the left. Again, another check dam. And as we described, this flow goes down into the second sediment trap. Here we're at the bottom of the second sediment trap at the outfall protection. This is the point where all of the water which has traveled from the first sediment trap down through the diversion dikes has traveled then into the second sediment trap and is going through this outfall structure to be released back into the stream and protect too much erosion from occurring at this point. The aforementioned practices are only a small subset of the available erosion and sediment control measures. However, they are certainly the most common. For more information, please visit the Virginia Department of Environmental Quality website, which further describes erosion and sediment control. At this website, you will see that the new erosion and sediment control program is effective as July 1st. One last note to mention is the responsible land disturber. In order to be this title, you must pass the exam and later recertify before your certificate expires. This allows you to be the person responsible for carrying out the erosion and sediment control plan throughout the process. Essentially, you are regulating all land disturbing activity. I hope this video was able to give a better background, understanding, and visual representation of erosion and sediment control measures.